In this video, I am going to show you how to use the PV function in Google Sheets. The PV function, which stands for present value, is a function that will help you calculate the present value of an investment that has a constant payment schedule and a constant interest rate. So those of you that are already subscribers to my channel or maybe already familiar with Google Sheets, a while ago I covered the FV function. So FV calculates future value, whereas PV calculates present value. So if you're familiar with that function already, it's the same exact syntax and you set up the formula the same way. So if you already know FV, you already know PV, but for those of you that don't know FV, I'm going to go over this function. So before I show you how to use it, let's check out the syntax. So the PV function, the first argument is a rate, and this is the interest rate. The next argument is number of periods, and so this will be the number of payments that are going to be made. And then the third argument is payment amount. So that's the amount that is paid for each period. And then there are two optional arguments at the end. So one is future value, and it is the future value remaining after the last payment has been made. And then the next optional argument is end or beginning. And what this does is it controls whether payments are made at the end or the beginning of each period. And so by default, it's going to be set to 0, which means payments are due at the end of each period. But if payments are due at the beginning, you would set this to a 1. Now, the most important thing that you need to know when using this function is that you need to make sure the interest rate, periods, and payment amounts are in consistent units with each other. And so what I mean by this, just as an example here, if you have a 12-month loan with payments that are made monthly, then your annual interest rate needs to be divided by 12, and the number of payments will also need to be 12. So if it's a 1-year loan and payments are made monthly, the annual interest rate has to be divided by 12 so that we can get the interest rate per month. Now if you have a 12-month loan that is paid quarterly, so you're paying the 12-month loan 4 times a year, it would mean that you divide your annual interest rate by 4, and your number of payments would also be 4. So this is the most important thing in getting this formula to calculate properly, is making sure that these are all in consistent units with each other. So this function is actually very easy to set up, and I will show you how to do it now. So in this example, I have a loan with an annual interest rate of 3%, and the loan period is 2 years and payments are made monthly. So a 2-year loan payment paid monthly is 24 payments, and the payment amount is $500. So let me just put the syntax over here so you can kind of follow along. So the first argument is our rate, which is our interest rate. So I'm just going to come in the cell where I'm going to calculate the formula, equals PV, press tab, and now I'm in the formula. So the first argument is our interest rate. And now remember, this needs to be in consistent units with our payment periods, or our number of periods. And so this is the annual interest rate, and there's 12 payments a year over a period of 2 years. I need to divide my annual interest rate by 12 in this argument for this formula to calculate properly. So next is my number of periods, and so that in this example is in cell B2. And then next is payment amount, and I'm leaving out these optional arguments at the end because I don't have a future value, and I will just use the default setting in end or beginning, which is payments due at the end. And so you add your closing parentheses, press enter, and this will calculate the present value of your investment. So that is it for this function. As you can see, it's very easy to use. This is the key here, is just making sure everything is consistent in consistent units with each other. But that is it for this video. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching the video. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions or content suggestions, just let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to answer everyone.